and get caught up in the illusions that you are not whole, you're not complete, you're incomplete, there's something wrong with you, you're not good enough, you're not tall enough, you know what I'm saying? You don't know enough information, you're not smart enough, all these things, all this negative self-talk. And the thing about our brains is that it believes anything we tell it. What would your wounded inner child say to present day you? How the hell did you do it? Honestly, how in the fuck did you overcome being the bitch that we were when we were little? You know, making jokes to fit in. You know what I'm saying? Trying to hide shame, trying to be good when you're just rooted in what would be considered bad by society standards. You know what I'm saying? Just the stuff that I allow myself to get involved in. Wounded inner child, how did you get so much confidence, man? Where did that shit come from? I'm scared as hell. You know what I'm saying? I'm waiting for somebody to come pick me up, somebody to fix me, somebody to love me, somebody to hold me. You know what I'm saying? Somebody to take away this pain, man. How in the hell did you do this? Present day me. And you know, I think we all have a similar story when it comes to our wounded inner child for the things that we went through. Like, how did you get over it? You know what I'm saying? How did you overcome what was deemed to be unforgettable? You know what I'm saying? And like the pain that comes with what we've seen. How are you able to do it? Present day Rome, man. I believe that's what my wounded inner child would say to me, especially since, again, I say it and it's not believed by a lot of people, but I'm truly shy at heart. You know what I'm saying? I'm shy in the sense of I don't want to, I got it in me. Don't get me wrong. I got it in me, like, to deal with, like, the spotlight, but I don't like the spotlight. I don't, I'm just, especially, like, if I've done something wrong and it's, like, I'm being criticized for it, it's an uncomfortable feeling. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be somewhere out in public, and this is just a trigger, just to let you know what this shit is. I'll hear somebody laughing, and I think they're laughing about me. My ego, you know what I'm saying? Like the wounded inner child comes out, and it's like they're laughing at me the way that I was being laughed at when I was a kid. And that's, again, just a wounded inner child. So it's like remembering all these lessons that I've adapted, you know what I'm saying? I adopted over time, especially my favorite one probably. Nothing anyone does is about you. Even if they laughing at your ass. They're not laughing, they're laughing at your ass, but it's like on the strength of what they believe is to be funny or what they believe to be ugly, what they believe to be beautiful, or their perspective not really has anything to do with yours. So like allowing a person's opinion to not define who you are. And we are guilty. We're very guilty of that people-pleasing, leftover remnants of people-pleasing when we worry about what people think of us. Like, man, I ain't gonna do that, man. I'm gonna look crazy. Or I'm gonna sound crazy or whatever. Be crazy. Yeah, just be crazy. And there's so much freedom on the other side of it. And there's times where I get caught up in my own ego. And then I have to laugh at that guy, which is nothing but the wounded inner child. It's like, it's almost like this young kid is holding up this adult body. You know what I mean? And sometimes it feels like imposter syndrome, where what have I done to earn all this? I'm not gonna use that term deserve, but what have I done to earn all the things, all the attention that I'll get Someone wanting to know, like literally asking me a question as if they trust my judgment. Like, who do they know who they're asking? You know what I mean? Like, if you knew who I was when I was a kid, you wouldn't think to ask me something serious. I mean, something playful and funny for sure, but to have that 180 turn in your life when you decide that you're going to take yourself seriously if no one else does. And thankfully, I've decided to make that change. Still can be funny when I want to, depending on who I'm around, and like their personalities and shit like that will determine which humor will come out. Because you got to know your audience when it comes to comedy. Not everybody laughs at the same jokes. You know what I'm saying? But that wounded inner child, the wounded inner child would say, "I'm proud of you. We've come a long way from what I remember." You know what I'm saying? And then I wish I could be you. And I am your ass. You know what I'm saying? I'm going through the years, going through the struggles, going through the many terrors that I've encountered in life. Somewhere I stood up to them, somewhere I ran like a bitch, somewhere I didn't move. You know what I'm saying? Freeze, fight, flee. You know what I'm saying? Like, all of them have been utilized throughout my 37 years on this earth. And it feels good, right? It feels really good to make the connection, to release that shit to the public for everyone to see, because I could give a fuck what you think about me in that aspect, because my story frees me. And sometimes I forget that. So, I'll hold back sometimes, even recording these things. But when I get those reminders, and that my strength is in my story, and that giving up, some of the most vulnerable things about myself is what frees me. And maybe somebody else too. You know what I'm saying? It will inspire them to want to share their story, inspire them to say, I'm not alone. Because you're not. You know what I'm saying? We're all inner being. We all do the same shit, just in different form. And it's knowing what type of energy you want to keep around you at the time. And I am a person where I'm hypersensitive when it comes to certain energy. So I will back the fuck up. You know what I'm saying? These days, until I can assess exactly what is going on. Because I refuse to go back to where I came from. That's number one. That's just my love for myself, that I refuse to go back to what the fuck I just went through. That I almost allowed to take my life. You know what I mean? So if it ain't about peace, it ain't about me. You know what I mean? And what's so crazy is you could be trying to look for peace so much that you realize that you're the toxic motherfucker. Very well could be true. Just learning from yourself and seeing different phases of your life. For instance, my wounded inner child. My wounded inner child was in pain, so we projected pain onto others. You know what I'm saying? Trying to feel loved, trying to feel validated in many ways. You know what I'm saying? Going out on dates, trying to hook up for sex. You know what I'm saying? Trying to be with the in crowd, trying to fit in, trying to blend in, trying not to stand out, trying to stand out. So many different ways that I tried to feed my ego over time. And truth be told, I'm just a country boy from Virginia, from Suffolk. You know what I'm saying? I don't get me wrong. Like I said, I've added a lot of skills to my repertoire of just being Little Romy, Sarah Lone's grandson, Bunny and Red's oldest son. You know what I'm saying? Punkin Daddy. Yep. That I got that later on in life. Hey Punkin, love you baby. But there's so many things that are part of my makeup, and if you don't take into account the wounded inner child along with the present day you, there's this separation in between them, but you have to marry them, and you have to learn to manage your wounded inner child whenever he or she gets triggered. And I wasn't doing a very good job with managing my triggers. But when you hold yourself accountable, when you have an accountability mirror, when you know that you've been acting like a bitch, and you know that there's more to you than what you've shown, you owe yourself more than anyone else does. I don't care who did you wrong. No one does you more wrong than you turning your back on yourself. And that's a hard lesson to learn. Still learning. Gonna continue to learn. But I believe that ultimately, my favorite word, ultimately, my wounded inner child would say, thank you. Thank you for taking care of us. Thank you for getting us to another level in life, upgrading, if you will, to new heights, to things that we never thought we could do. Being a shy kid and now wanting to be on social media platforms or YouTube. I guess YouTube is considered social media, but like being on platforms, talking through airwaves of podcasting or teaching classes at work, in front of 15 people or more, just talking, because wouldn't think of it, with me as a kid. So I think what my wounded inner child is trying to say to present day me is just appreciate you. My favorite amusement park. My favorite amusement park, I would say, Islands of Adventure, right? I'm biased because of the Hulk. Although I did have some competition though. I've been to SeaWorld, and I got on this ride called the Mako. I died 3 times, it felt like. I literally, my ass came up out my seat on this ride. Like, the dip is so fucking long. You know what I'm saying? Like, going down, like, wow. High as fuck, you know what I'm saying? It was an adrenaline rush. I'll say that. It was an adrenaline rush being on that. I laughed maniacally like Heath Ledger and the Joker because I couldn't believe how death-defying this shit was. It was fun. It was fun. It was a really, really fun time with my family there that day. But Islands of Adventure, hands down, because of the Hulk coaster, and and also got the Harry Potter shit that's going on in there. I've yet to get one of those wands. I know my baby wanted to get one of those, and we went there one time for her. I think it was her 15th birthday, and didn't end up getting one. I think that wand cost like $60. I said, "Kid yourself." Not to my daughter, just just the phrase itself, like, get the fuck out of here. I'm not paying for that shit. And also they got the turkey legs, at the Harry Potter spot. Didn't get one of those, but they look fucking good. It's fun there. Literally you feel like you're in Hogwarts, you know what I'm saying, when you're walking around in Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park is I always wanted to do that as a kid. Like, I really thought, what's so crazy? I was telling a friend of mine, I really thought that the whole time that Jurassic Park, like when I went to go see the movie with my dad, like, as I'm watching this shit with my ears closed, I thought these fuckers were robots. I didn't realize they were actually dinosaurs. I thought they were like mechanical things, and you know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't occur to me until like later on, I don't know, maybe a year later, like when the movie came out, when it came to video, because we didn't have DVDs or Blu-rays or streaming, you young Thundercats. But when it came out to VHS, you know what I'm saying? I didn't realize that were fucking, they were human, not human, but they were supposed to be like DNA, built from the DNA. I think that's what happens when you watch like the behind the scenes shit and you see it move like fucking like the robot or whatnot. But like the Jurassic Park area is It's colorful. They got a new coaster. I didn't get a chance to ride, to get on that shit yet, but it's the Velocicoaster, and it's like this thing where you kind of hang upside down for like a hot little minute. I definitely want to check out. Big kid when it comes to roller coasters, for sure. I'll ride the tallest roller coaster that you can think of, but I will not go on a hotel balcony. Try to figure it out. I fear of uncontrolled heights, like balconies and shit. I don't like balconies, ledges, you know what I'm saying? Like climbing a skyscraper. So if you thinking about jumping, you on your own. Because my black ass is staying on the inside. My nerves get bad. But a roller coaster, I'm all for it. So I want to check out that Velocicoaster. What I like much about Universal, especially Islands of Adventure, is while you're waiting, they make it interactive so you don't really notice how long you wait. Don't get me wrong. If you're waiting for 2 hours, you're gonna feel it. But it's very interactive. You know what I'm saying? Like the Harry Potter areas, like when you're waiting, the pictures inside the rides, they turn and look at you and shit. It's pretty cool to see. The feel of walking around Jurassic Park. They even have an area where you can look at the velociraptors and shit, which is pretty dope. They got the same sounds as actual Jurassic Park. You know what I'm saying? Like the Harry Potter area, Hogwarts World. Try saying that shit 5 times. Is phenomenal. They recently added some stuff to it. I hadn't had a chance to check that out, but I look forward to checking that out at the next opportunity. Am I missing? Oh, Poseidon. Poseidon shit is fresh. I remember the first time going. It's not the same once you've gone through it already. It's like watching a scary movie. You know, the first time you watch an actual scary movie and it catches you off guard and that feeling you get. Poseidon is not scary, but it's just like that feeling you get from the first time seeing something and an amazement that this is how this goes. You know what I'm saying? Like those actors at Universal really do put in work to try to, you know what I'm saying, make this thing something special for those who come to visit the park. And so it's just pretty dope, the little storyline that they do. And that's another place you don't want to be in the line for fucking an hour and a half. Had my fair share of times in that, but that's all part of going to amusement parks. What I do like to get before I leave any amusement park is what we call a funnel cake. We want that funnel cake. You got to get that funnel. Playing with the sugar. I tried it with like toppings. I'm not really a fan of like the sugar. If I had to get anything, it'd be the strawberry joints. But funnel cakes, yeah, I really do. It's just about that. I don't go to amusement parks too often, so I don't eat funnel cakes too often. But if I go to like the state fair, or if I go to if I go to Universal or Ocean City, you know what I'm saying? Trimper Ride, shout out to everybody back home in Ocean City in Salisbury. But if I ever go there, at Ocean City, you gotta get the funnel cake fries. Don't get me wrong, they got funnel cakes and them joints run good, especially the corn dogs. So the corn dogs is the business out there. But Ocean City is like, that was our Disneyland. That was our Disney World growing up. It's most affordable for having a lot of fucking kids. And between my grandmother and her 6 children and their kids, we'll say we had a lot of cousins. So it was a lot of, trying to get everybody to come together. And I commend my mom and my aunts and my grandma for getting us all together to do that, to have those memories, man. Like to go back, and then for me to go back as a kid, as an adult, with my kid and my goddaughter, which is my cousin's kid, and us doing the very same things that me and my cousin used to do, who was like a big brother to me. It's fun. It's dope. It's memories to see that and be grateful for those things, those moments that we had, because they don't last forever. It's all temporary. But good times, at the Trimper rides. And you know what I'm saying? If like Rich is watching this, and Corey, Dougie, Davion, Brandon, Micah, KJ, Kenny, the whole list, Christoria, you know, TT, hey T Mama, Kiki, all of us, you know what I'm saying? Just being young. All we had was us, you know what I'm saying? We ain't had no fucking money. All we had was jokes, video games, grandma's food, ordering Popeye's chicken sometimes, ordering, what's the shit? English's chicken. And a list of other shit that we used to do, you know what I'm saying, like together as a family. You know, I think about those times quite often. I miss them, but grateful that we got to do those times when we had those moments. But amusement parks, yeah, Universal Islands of Adventure is definitely that Hulk coaster. You know what I'm saying? Like typically, I like to get the fast pass, so I don't get to see all the inside shit. But the inside is dope too. It looks like a laboratory. You know what I'm saying? For those of us who go to Islands of Adventure quite frequently and see these, and you know what I'm saying, to see that shit, it's dope to see. And I have, like I said, I have a great time there. There was one point in time I was going all the time, so it kind of loses its thrill. But it's cool to get back there and, you know what I'm saying, shut it down. So, you know, those are great times there. Riding, you know what I'm saying, like the Hulk, the Harry Potter joint, Cat in the Hat, that shit that travels, like the Dr. Seuss thing that goes around the fucking park. It's just like a train and whatnot. That's pretty cool. The Spider-Man, what am I talking about? Spider-Man simulator, the Doctor Doom drop, when they bring you up, bring you down. It's a great time. The Popeyes, like water joint that they got, the water ride that they have there. I mean, it's just fun. Like I said, it's great. It's great for the whole family, I believe. Even if you're not really into rides, but the scenery itself is just dope, especially the comic book area. And even the comics area for like Betty Boop, Olive Oil, Popeye, and you know what I'm saying, all that shit. It's dope. But favorite amusement park, Islands of Adventure, hands down. What's the most common emotion that eats at you mentally? Shame. I think shame is probably the most common emotion that eats at me mentally, and here's why. When you've almost felt like you've had to be perfect to just feel love, you know what I'm saying? Damn it, be in love, you know what I'm saying? You might have been loved, but to feel it, feeling like you had to be perfect to do that, it eats at you. It becomes a drug, man. You feel like you're nothing without being perfect. So you tend to be overly critical, overly analyze, and if you find any fault in yourself, then you know you're just down. You know what I'm saying? And it eats at you. It eats at you all, you know what I'm saying, like all the time. If you listen to your ego. You know what I'm saying? It's like understanding the difference between you and then your ego. Because the ego's never satisfied. The ego always feels like you have to be this in order to be whole. But you're already whole. That's the fucking conundrum, is that we're already whole, but we get inside our heads and then we lose our shit. Practically. We lose sight of what's important. We lose sight of what's real and what's illusion, and get caught up in the illusions that you are not whole, you're not complete, you're incomplete, there's something wrong with you, you're not good enough, you're not tall enough, you know what I'm saying, you don't know enough information, you're not smart enough, all these things, all this negative self-talk. And the thing about our brains is that it believes anything we tell it. So if I say negative shit, even as a joke, about myself, my body doesn't know the difference. So you have to learn to, I mean, it's recommended rather, you don't have to, but it's recommended to talk to yourself kindly the way that you would another person. You would never, I mean, some people will like talk down, you know what I'm saying, to another person, but you would never tell your best friend or a friend, someone that you value, to tear them down, to shame them. So why do you do that to yourself? That's a question we all have to ask. Like, how the fuck do we even do that? But you being so hard on yourself, you know what I'm saying? You just want to bring out the best. And I don't feel like there's anything wrong with that, trying to be the best version of yourself. But be patient with yourself, love yourself unconditionally, understand you did the best you could with the knowledge you have at that particular time. And, you know what I'm saying, as we grow, as we move on in the day, and as we read, we learn more. So we're able to react a little bit better than we did the last time. But what's important is just to manage emotion. And I can honestly say that managing emotions can be, I mean, I've gotten pretty good at it over the years, but it can be a bitch. It really can be a bitch. So yeah, shame. Shame, you motherfucker. You tend to remind me of my faults from years ago. Shit that people don't even remember, but you do because you've been thinking about it ever since. And it's like a gift and a curse to have a photographic memory because they play like movies. And you can see vividly the mistake that you felt like you should have, you know, the mistake that you could have prevented, or the one that you actually did and you just wish that you didn't do it, and you feel like it's caused a rift in whatever it is. And truth be told, it's not that big of a deal. But when you've been programmed in your mind to feel a certain way when you make a mistake, that same feeling, you keep reliving that shit. And it's like trying to not relive those emotions. Those same feelings come back, the very same feeling we felt in those moments. So it's like trying to forget that it even happened, and then forgiving yourself for it even happening. And like I said, it takes some time. It took a while. There's a lot of growth there, but that's what happens when you pay attention to yourself. You spend time with yourself. When you spend time with yourself, you learn so much, more than you think, more than you ever thought you could, and it's a great thing. At least for me, I enjoy spending time alone and being alone with those thoughts and processing them, filtering out the bullshit, keeping what's valuable, and pressing on, you know. But shame will eat you alive if you will let it. It will eat you alive. And learning to just be forgiving, learning to love yourself unconditionally. And I'm not able to stress that enough. Like learning to love yourself unconditionally, because that's how you'll learn to treat everybody else around you. Doesn't mean not having healthy boundaries. Unconditional love is not unconditional tolerance. Let's repeat it for the peoples and the niggas in the back. Unconditional love does not mean unconditional tolerance. So I can love you from afar. Keep your toxic shit over there. I'm gonna deal with my toxicity over here. We'll take care of each other by you looking after you and me looking after me. You know what I'm saying? But shame. Yeah, shame is, it's a bitch. There's no other way to put it. It's a bitch to deal with. But once you've studied enough stoicism, positive self-talk, and motivational speeches, it gets easier to deal with. It's able to recognize what it means. But shame cannot hold up behind you. It's not able to hold up in front of you. It only holds up behind you, as Brene Brown puts it. So, like, if you talk about what is so shameful, it loses its power over you. You know what I'm saying? The reason why it has power over you because you keep holding it inside. You're suppressing it. So whether that's journaling, whether that's telling a therapist, whether that's talking to your best friend that you can actually confide in and it's confidentiality agreement, or, you know what I'm saying, a supervisor, whatever it is, you know what I'm saying, being able to get that shit out is healthier for you. But when we suppress all these things that have happened to us, things that weren't even our fault, that we were made to believe was our fault. You know what I mean? Like there's an upside to being able to share something confidentially with someone. or or even, like I said, journaling it, whatever your vice is. And I just think I think that's great if you are fortunate enough to have that option. Um, so shame has poisoned and cursed my family in many ways. There's a lot of stuff that has been done, and a lot of people that act out in shame and don't feel like they can even talk about whatever they feel so shame about. And it's unfortunate because there's so much love waiting for them on the other side. As soon as they're willing to, be truthful with themselves, all of us. As soon as you learn to love yourself, on the other side of that shame is, like I said, is unconditional love. So anybody that's feeling shameful about something, feeling guilty about whatever is happening, I'm sending you positive and healing energy in hopes that you're able to see how powerful you are, how magnificent you are, how empowering you can be just by facing yourself. And still every day I do my best to face myself. So grateful for the moments that come up, triggered or not, for me to learn from. But I think that's it. Peace. What makes a woman sexy versus just being beautiful to me? Okay. For starters, it's a confidence. There's a certain level of confidence that a woman can have that can turn me on. I won't say a man, but I'll be specific about it. That turns me on is her confidence. She doesn't have to be 10, 9. I mean, of course, those things help, but those tend to be women that are very, 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 very shallow. You know what I'm saying? And don't value men, you know what I'm saying, because of their SMV. You know what I'm saying? Sexual market value. They tend to be so full of themselves and they're in love with their cell phone. But a woman that understands, that owns her sexiness, that understands her sexuality. And now, granted, she doesn't dish it out to everybody, but when she trusts your frame or whatever, she reveals that, and that is one of the sexiest things to me. You know what I'm saying? That a woman can do that. You know what I'm saying? Because she's very choosy. Some are choosy. You know what I'm saying? But what else I find like sexy versus I say just being beautiful? How you put yourself together, like to dress up for a date, if you will, right? And like I said, owning it. You know what I'm saying? Just getting dolled up, putting on makeup, putting on a dress, putting on heels. You know what I'm saying? Being in your feminine energy, letting that radiate through you, and it's like a magnet for a man that prides himself on masculinity. You know what I'm saying? So it's fully attractive, sexy. What else is sexy? Buying the right kind of draws. Yep, definitely matters. You know what I'm saying? Granted, they got the period panties, the granny draws for the period days, but like the ones that, yeah, definitely look straight out of the catalog. You know what I'm saying? Like centerfold type appearance when it comes to bra and panties. So I find that to be very, 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 very sexy, right? Like handling your own. I'll tell you what, being self-sufficient, right, and not announcing that you're independent. You know what I'm saying? You just understand that you're self-sufficient, and you allow a man to lead. And that to me that's one of the sexiest things I think a woman can do, is allow a man to lead. You don't try you don't talk to him as if you don't trust he knows what he's doing. to me, those are things that I find to be sexy on a woman. What else is sexy on a woman? Being nasty as fuck, right? Let's be real, man. That's not what y'all came to. That's not why the question was asked. It wasn't asked all these politically correct answers. It's just like, yeah, sexy is, practically being a porn star in her own right. You know what I mean? Versus being beautiful. You don't want you don't want to be the woman that's just beautiful and she's, what do they say, a prude, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Oh no, you got to have me convinced that the devil is in this fucking room or wherever we are. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of that. I mean, that to me is sexy, and not feeling shameful about it in the moment. Now you might cover your eyes or laugh or sniggle and giggle about the shit later, but in the moment, there's a demon in the midst. You know what I'm saying? And I love that shit. What else do I find sexy about? What do I find sexy about a woman versus just being beautiful? Like the way you talk. Being able to get into a certain octave when you are around masculine energy. You know what I'm saying? Like sitting and talking like a higher a higher pitch, a higher octave when you hear like a deep voice or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And everything's magnetic. It's yin and yang. It works together. That's why again, the masculine and the feminine complement each other. No one is better than the other. We work together. You know what I'm saying? That to me is sexy when a woman understands that. She understands that she is to be a complement to a man's life, and not the focus. That is very sexy. And it's not putting you down. You know what I'm saying? It's just that you have your duties to carry out. I have mine. You know what I mean? And respectfully, the women that understand that, they're in a far better place than the ones that just want to be the focus when they have to have all your attention type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like being able to have your own life. That's sexy. You know what I'm saying? Not being codependent at all. You know what I mean? Like being able to set healthy boundaries for yourself, take care of yourself. Self-care, that's sexy to me. Self-care is very fucking sexy on a woman. That, she doesn't have to be, doesn't need to be there for everybody and not be there for herself. What good is that? What kind of, I question that bullshit that women were taught. And I'm sure a lot of women feel that way too. Because I've heard friends, that especially like in Latin culture where it's like, you put everybody else first and take care of yourself. Like, man, fuck all that shit, bro. How the fuck you gonna help us if you ain't got nothing yourself? You're gonna be resentful and take out all your fucking, frustrations on us. And you the one that set this shit up, you know what I'm saying? You the enabler? Shit. All this damn noise, you know what I mean? But, but seriously, like when a woman is able to manage her triggers, she's able to deal with her issues inside, her insecurities, having those insecurities and going somewhere to get that shit worked out. That's what I find to be sexy. They very well may be politically correct answers, but that's the truth of the matter. Like I'm at a different point in my life where it's not just about looks per se, it's about aggression, passion, but even more just being able to take care of yourself and us just like being around each other. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to take care of you. You don't have to take care of me. Again, I lead, but I don't have to baby you and you don't have to baby me. You know what I'm saying? We can exist within each other's confinements without having to feel drained by the other. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to be responsible for you. We just be around one another. That is sexiness in its entirety. But for what you really asked for, you know what I'm saying? What I find a woman to be sexy is just it's a look to them. You know what I'm saying? Some are naturally born with the look of seduction. Some have to be groomed for it. But it's just this, they know who they are. in this world. These women that know that they have their seduction. They practice about 100 selfies before they send that one to you, with working on that face of seduction, and in many forms, in many ways, and it's been much appreciated over the years. I mean, I find, yeah, I mean, all around, like I said, that's just that's just some stuff that I find to be sexy on a woman. I don't really know what else to say to that. But to all, to all women who own their sexy, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure your husbands, boyfriends, your side pieces, whatever, they all appreciate it. So we appreciate you.